Hey, you guys, this is the first episode of Bro Talk. I'm King Coop Dizzle,
And I'm Maximus Akita, the second.
and like I said, this is Bro Talk. And for our first episode, we're going to be talking about the GBI arrest of Mayor Robert Buster Johnson and what all goes along with that. Let's get straight to it. Now, Robert Mayor Robert Johnson um, was arrested by the GBI recently with various charges. We're dropping this video because we feel like there are a few things that need to be said. This is our hometown area. We know the mayor personally, so it's an issue that's close to us, me as well as Mansa. I've known Mayor Johnson for most of my life, of my preteen adult life. I've job shadowed with him before at SunTrust Bank. He's always been very professional, well dressed, and ambitious. We'll start that off. Do you have anything you want to say, Mensa, about Mayor Robert Johnson?
Uh, yeah, I worked with him for almost 2.5 years. Me and him worked side by side. M- um, he always been a person uh, that I can remember that was happy. Everything could be going wrong, and this guy's got some joy. He was always a great person to be around, very inspirational, very ambitious. Me and him used to talk all the time about our goals, about life, about making good decisions. And because he was 20 years older than me, he took that big brother role in my life. I've known him ever since I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. So he was always that guy that was dressed nice. He always had nice cars and stuff. And the young black guys that was coming up in the community, that was the closest thing to black success that we have ever seen living in rural Southeast Georgia. So, in a sense, young guys like me that was kids would see him at a
Mhm.
basketball game or a football game, and he would be, man, I want that. I want to be like him when I grow up. So he was very impactful and influential in the community of young blacks in Pearson,
Well,
Georgia.
well said. I definitely totally agree with you on that. You hit it right on the head. When he first ran for Mayor Robert Buster Johnson, we sat down and had a long talk with him on his front porch. I know you probably remember, and we talked to
Yeah.
him about his campaign slogan, which we both talked about. Was something that we suggested to him, and you went to him and suggested to him. But something that we
hmm
had talked about, and it was
hmm
the campaign slogan was "Be the change that you want to see."
You will see.
And I know you remember we talked to him about that and what that really meant.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
my advice to him when he ran for office that day, actually, when we talked to him on the
Yep.
porch, was to never let anyone take him back to where he used to be.
Yep. Yep.
And that's the reason
Yep.
for this conversation. And I'm gonna let you piggyback off of that a little bit before we move forward.
Yeah. I definitely remember that day. And the reason why we came up with that slogan was because of his history prior to him running for mayor. He did have a criminal history. However, he
Mhm.
straightened up his life.
He had a
He
history in
straightened
the
up his
street.
life. Had a history in the streets. However, he straightened up his life, became clean on everything, um, and was being successful at being a earnest, honest, earning citizen,
Yeah,
and,
he
and
was.
that yeah, and that right there spoke volumes to the young kids as well and the young guys that's coming up that hey, I don't have to be in the streets. So we came up with the slogan, be the change you want to see, because he wanted better in his life. His past did not align with that. He changed, and now he was seeing the life that he wanted to be. So, in order for you to make a transition, you have to change your situation. And that's what he had done with his life. He had been the change that he wanted to see. And that's how me and you come up with that slogan. And when we introduced it to him, he loved it because it hit home. But
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
and
and
I don't think many people know that we had something to do with that. I don't think many
yeah,
people know that at all about us. But
yeah.
we're I mean, there's a lot of things people don't know about us that they'll learn in the future.
Yeah.
uh,
You know,
uh,
sometimes we on the scene, and but we behind the scene. You know.
so we definitely talked to him about that and what it meant and the importance of what he was doing, and that he had our support in it. And with that
Yeah.
being said, we all kind of went about our separate ways in life, and we kind of analyzed his career from afar per se, because we were in different places most of the time. Now, with that being said, um, let's talk about the charges and stuff, because it's a long line of charges.
Mm.
Here they are right here. Um, this is just the article for when he first was arrested: theft and violation of oath of office. Um, so we can pull up the rest of these charges right here. These are the rest of the charges right here. As you can see, they are lengthy. Uh, criminal attempt.
Very.
I mean, I'm not even going to read them all. They're there. They're easy to find. They're online. But a
Mhm.
lot of dishonest allegations of
Yeah.
things that he may have allegedly done. And my point that I want to make is that the GBI doesn't just make up charges against people.
No, they
15
don't.
charges is a lot of charges, and everybody's saying that, not everybody, but people close to him are saying
Mhm.
that, oh, he's going to be okay. Oh, I'm so sorry that this happened to him. And yeah, he is going to be okay. But first,
Mhm.
and I'm going to let you have your response to this. I think he's going to have to be held accountable for what he is found guilty of doing. And with him already having a prior prior charges and stuff, even if they go away, there is no other first time offender.
Yeah.
Whatever he doesn't beat, it sticks. More than likely,
Sticks.
this is the end of his his peak. This is his peak, because there is nothing higher than this for him because of this. And I think it's very unfortunate, but he does need to be held accountable for various reasons that we're going to talk about. But you go ahead and tell me what you think about the charges.
Uh, First off, I just want to lead with this. These are all allegations. You know, this is them saying that he done this, but he's innocent until proven guilty. So I'm gonna take two stances on this. As first of all, as if he did not do this, what he should do, and second, if he has done this. But as we said, these are only allegations. These are not. This is not concrete. And as you said before, um, man, where can I start at on this?
Yeah.
The GBI doesn't just say, for instance, if I say, "Hey, Coop stole my cell phone," you know, the GBI just ain't gonna come to my house and say, "Hey, you got
Right.
that cell phone? Give it to me." They're gonna
Right.
do a thorough investigation. They're gonna say,
Thorough,
"Hey, where were
definitely.
y'all?" Thorough, very thorough. They're gonna look at cameras, and if they see me taking that phone or enough evidence to charge me with stealing that phone from you, Coop, then they're gonna come and arrest me and let me know, hey, we have enough evidence that we are believing that you have committed this issue, and that's just what's stealing a cell phone. So I say all that to say this: these are 15 charges with with little dots beside them. Inside these charges are 2 to 3 to 4 counts. So if you multiply 15 times 4, you're talking about almost 60 charges.
Gonna be hard. It's gonna be
60.
hard. It's gonna be hard to beat all of those. I mean, you're gonna need you gonna
You
you
go
gonna need Johnny
what
Cochran. You're gonna need somebody because
the,
it's just
the
gonna be
just
hard to beat all of those charges.
yes, this is what it seems like to me, and I'm gonna say this. If he has not done this, from what's been reported from the news and different news sources, it seems like if he has not committed this, someone or it seems like a group of people that are close to him does not like his success because it said multiple reports. For you to see someone doing this and have knowledge of this, you have to be in his inner circle or
Oh,
very, very close to him.
oh yeah.
So, so I say this: if he has not done this, and these reports are coming, this is from people that he deals with. This is not something that somebody that's very far away from you
It's
is
like
going to
your
make a
coworker.
report of.
It's like your coworker going to your supervisor.
Yes, yes. This actually, let me bring it home for you. These reports, one of these says that he was, and I'm gonna read it right off of the screen. It says criminal solicitation to commit false official certificates or writing by officer or employees of the state and political subdivision. That means that that's somebody that works up under him that made
Hmm.
this report. It's another one that says, let me see.
Man, there are a lot of
It's,
charges. There's
man,
fraud.
it is.
There's
It's
stealing of municipal land. There is
yes,
trying to get someone out of jail with false paperwork, out of prison with false paperwork. The charges are just extensive, man. I mean, it's just mind blowing. All the
these
charges. That's why I
these are two.
said they don't just
These are
make
two
up
charges.
that many
No.
major charges. It seems like they did a
Yes,
long, thorough investigation on that.
yes.
I mean,
It's got
it
three
seems
counts.
that way.
It's got 3 counts of employee bribery, city of Pearson bribery. So that means that in order for someone to make this, they had to be an employee, work up under him. And that just concur what I said. If he has not done this, then it was someone that was very, very close to him that did not like him, that wanted to set him up.
I mean,
And this and this
personally,
and
I think it's hard to have that many charges and you didn't do anything. I'm just gonna, I'm
I'll
just
say the
gonna,
same thing.
I'm just gonna be real with you on that one. And
I'm saying the same thing.
but to piggyback off of what you are saying about somebody being jealous of him, let's just touch on the fact that he's the first black mayor of Pearson, Georgia. Am I not correct?
Yes, he's the first black male president, mayor of Pearson, Georgia.
Yeah.
Betty Drayton was the first black mayor
Betty
of
Drayton, you're
Georgia.
right. Drayton was, so he's the first black male mayor. So they're
Mayor.
the first. They're the first two. Okay.
And she did a
So
phenomenal job at mayor.
yeah, and she didn't get caught up in anything, which is very
Yep.
important because
Yeah.
it means nothing um, to be given that opportunity and to kind of throw it away with carelessness by disgracing
Yes.
your name. Because if people are jealous of you, that's the number one thing they're going to be looking to do for you to make a serious mistake or a breach of
Yes.
character, so they can expose you. So either way it goes, um, he's he's in a pickle. He's in a
Yes.
pickle, and I personally feel like he needs new associates. I'll even say he needs some new friends, even possibly. If somebody didn't tell him the truth, even though he's a grown man, and if he did do it, he knew what he was doing. If he didn't know what he was doing, then he had plenty of time to serve his community and educate himself, take some classes, learn what's going on. I feel after this, I was thinking, I was like, man, a mayor should have an attorney to run their moves by, because if you're because
I'm glad someone said
you gotta respect the system. Pay you a lawyer,
it.
and
Yes,
you can avoid these things. They can this could
yes.
already, like somebody could already told you was overstepping your boundaries, but nobody wants to get a lawyer. Nobody wants to educate themselves. Everybody wants to look nice though, and say, "Hey,
Can I
I
chime?
made it."
Can,
Go ahead.
can I chime in on that last part?
Oh
Because
yeah,
what you
please
just
do.
said
Please
was
do.
so monumental. What you just said was so monumental because a part of me is saying, just looking at this from the outside, is saying that he could have committed these crimes and not know that he was committing these crimes.
Yeah, it's
He was
very
not
possible.
educated.
It's
And
very possible.
me knowing Buster, he always got a great idea. But
Yeah.
is it can't
Did you put
your way
did you put the work behind it, the research behind it? Do you know that you're not breaking any laws? You can't cut
yes.
corners on federal paperwork, government paperwork, city, state, federal. You can't cut corners. This
No,
is
you
not
cannot.
good. This is not.
You
But
cannot.
it is possible that he may have been, and I have to say the word, he may have been ignorant to some of the things that he was doing. Now, how much ignorance was involved there, and how much just plain stupid was involved there, I don't know. That's up to the GBI and the allegations that they have.
And what let me say this. I just want to piggyback right off of what you just said. And some people may get mad at me for saying this, but that's the importance, like you said, of having an attorney and educating yourself before you run for a position. Being educated and knowing what you're doing, not just holding the title, but being qualified to do the job. Being qualified because mayor is leading people, whether it's on a 9 to 5, it's not an easy task.
No,
It's not. And even when you on a 9 to 5 and you leading people, what's the first thing
it's
you got to
it's
learn? The
a
company
harder
policies.
it's a harder job. Being a mayor is probably a harder job than being a street dealer, because you have to be just like a street dealer. You have to be the marketer. You have to be, the people person. You have to have the
Yeah.
business plans. It's just so much that it's very complex.
Yeah.
And if you if you can't be successful doing street stuff, you're definitely not going to be successful uh, in a mayoral office with the
Yes.
same mindset with no growth. I'm with
With
no
no
growth.
growth, man.
We're gonna end up in the
That
same
that.
position.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
possible that his ignorance may have played, but I mean, he had the same 24/7 to get up and go take some classes. To get up, I'm sure he went to some events. I'm sure that he was invited to some mayor balls and some stuff in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure he has. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, to what extent he took advantage of that to make sure that he was being the best mayor, he wasn't covering his tail. Because
Hmm.
as you mentioned to me before we started, he's been the mayor for what, 7 years?
Yeah. This, I believe, this was the last year, if not the second to the last year of his term.
And how long is a fair investigation? Well, they're GBI, but they're still up there. That's about how long their investigations may be. A couple years, two to
Yeah.
seven
That's
years.
that's
They
what I
could
was
have been
looking. I was
watching him
looking
the
at these
whole
charges.
time. They could have been watching
Yes.
him for years. And honestly,
They were.
I've heard that people were dissatisfied with him for many years and the things that he was doing as
Hmm.
far as grants. I heard some things
Hmm.
about him getting some grants for stuff, some equipment, maybe trucks or something like that.
Hmm.
I've heard that 4 years ago, so that would make sense if they're just now, just getting the investigation together to come with all of those charges to make them stick. And
Hmm.
as somebody from the streets, you should know that you should know that at
Yeah.
the end is when they'll come and get you and throw your whole shebang away. Um,
I agree with what you were saying about them watching. This ain't something that the GBI woke up Friday morning and said, "Hey, let's go charge." let's go charge Mr. Johnson. Now they had been watching him from years, and they probably had someone that was working for him, someone that was close in his inner circle working with them,
Yeah.
you know.
Not about that at
And
all.
yeah, this is a lengthy investigation they've been doing. They've had people working on their team, both in their offices and on foot and ground, just by looking for this. And like you said, it's been multiple years. You know, they if he committed this, they let him. They was doing what they call letting them get comfortable. They was letting them
Mhm.
get comfortable. And,
Yeah, that's how they do it. That's
yep,
how they
and
do it because they want the
you
charges
know,
to stick.
they want the charges to stick. hmm They got
And they're
everything from stealing land to bribery to theft by deception. That,
yeah, and
and
he
that's
it's crazy. And he came so far. He came so far. He turned his life around, repaid his debt to society, got
yeah,
elected as mayor. Um,
yeah. Tyson's left
and
from
now,
totally around.
yeah. So what do you do when you go back to?
Well, if you
I
ask
feel like he's
if
in
you
more
asking
trouble
me,
now than he was before.
boy, yes. Well, it's a saying. The higher you go, the bigger target that's on your back.
And the farther you have to fall, if you fall,
hmm That is true. If you
it's
asking
like
me, if I was in his situation, two things, and I had not done this, I would definitely take it to trial. If
don't
I
lose,
had to,
don't
if I
lose.
had to, yeah, don't lose. Look, I'm gonna hit on that. If I had done this and I knew that all these charges is gonna stick, I would not go to trial. It's really a two-way sword in that
It
situation.
does
Because
because
pleading not
if
to this,
anything is sticking, if
yeah,
anything
pleading
is
not to
sticking,
this, it's
and you
time.
wait, yeah. And I don't know how many years goes with that. I don't want to see anybody do any prison time, but my calculation was a minimum of 5 if the charges stick. A minimum of 5 if charges stick. And now, like I said, I'm not a judge. I'm not a jury. But I do know that when you don't have anything to fall back on as far as first offender or
hmm
anything like that,
And see, that might play a factor into it too, that he's already a previous offender. That might add more time.
yeah. And if he doesn't get a bond, he'll have to sit if because they might say he's a flight risk because of his past, or he's a flight risk because he didn't cooperate when the GBI came to pick him up. I don't know
Can I
how.
can I stop right here and say this? If
Yeah,
I was sitting in that jail and they let me out, hey, listen here, I'm up out of here. I ain't, hey, I'm gonna be over there in Mexico, Costa Rica, somewhere where they don't expedite and all that other stuff, whatever they call it. Hey, man, I'm gone. I'm up out of here.
that's what I
Shoot,
was
man, my
told.
Nike.
He's an older man. I was like, no matter what he does, it's not going to be good for him or his health or his future
No,
or anything. I don't know
no,
what
it's
that
not.
means for your pension. I don't know what that means for your benefits. I don't know what any of that means, but I know it's not good for him. And I
Man,
really hate that for him because he had the opportunity to do
yeah,
right and
to do right,
turn
yeah,
his life around and leave it like that. He should have never
yep,
looked back, and he should have made sure that things that he was doing was ethical and transparent. Because as black men, we have to know that we have to hold ourselves to a certain standard, even when other people don't. It's okay to make mistakes, but when you continue to make those same mistakes into old age, it's going to create it's because of negative habits that you've created for yourself that are going to bear you the same uh,
yeah,
spoiled fruit again, same bad fruit again, if you don't
yeah,
change and grow and educate yourself and learn. And we as black men have to know that once it's okay to make mistakes, like I said, but after that, do better, do
yeah,
better, and
yes,
don't think that for a second that because you've made it so far that you can't, all of that can't be erased by one bad decision.
Yeah,
You know, you
because
really have to stay on top of your stuff.
yeah, you do on your P's and Q's. And that next chance could be your last chance.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't speak no evil over his life. I hope that he works this out and that the best opportunity comes from
He's
this.
never going to
Uh,
be what he was. He's never going to be on the level that he was before. That is over. I just want to say that. But he can live a good life. He can live a peaceful
yes, he
life.
can. Yes, he can.
Can live a peaceful life.
Um,
But more than likely, he's going to live out the rest of his days as a convicted felon. And I mean, that's
yeah,
okay if you got to pay. If that's what you got to do to repay your debt to society, I'm sure he's clever enough to still find a way to pay his bills. But he'll never be a mayor or anything above that. More than likely, ever again at this point in his life. I just need to point that out.
yeah. I'm reminded of a quote from a very, very uh, intelligent man. His name was Jesse Livermore. Uh, he said something that changed my life. Well, I read what he said something, and it goes like this. It says, "In life, the game taught me the game."
For real.
As you go through life, life should teach you. And like my older brother said, yeah, you should be able to make better decisions, wiser decisions, and stay on top of it. Yeah. The game gonna teach you the game. Just make sure that you the winner.
And another thing that we wanted to make sure we talked about in this video, and I think we're definitely doing a great job with this discussion. So shout out to us. Um, but
Yeah, big time.
yeah, we have to stop this dangerous narrative for black men. Uh, that if Trump had felonies or if a certain race of men, white men, or other men of different races, do stuff like commit felonies and can still be successful. Young black men don't fall for that trap
No.
because we can't and we shouldn't want to. We should aspire to do the right thing. We should aspire to follow the rules and the rule of law. We should wake up
Mhm.
every day and try to do a little better. Stay out of the streets. Stay away from crime and
Definitely.
felonies. We don't want. We don't want to be president with felonies.
Yeah.
And let's just be real. That ain't happening. That ain't happening with us. So let's just.
No, it's
But
not.
and it's okay. I think to live in a world to be forced to hold yourself to the highest standard is actually a
Yeah,
blessing. You
that's
can't
a
go
blessing.
wrong.
And
You
yeah,
can't go
that
wrong.
is. That's something to be proud of. That's
Yeah, you
something to
can't
be
go
proud
wrong.
of. Yeah.
And as black people, as black men, that's something that we've always been used to. Right? If we slip up, that's our
Yeah.
a word. But so we're used to it. So just wake up every day and aspire to be great and do the right thing. If you ever get a chance to turn your life around or be in a government position, if you get elected as an official, small or big, try to be transparent, try to educate
Yeah.
yourself on doing the right thing so you don't get counsel, legal counsel, so you cover your tracks and just serve the people and live a good life. Raise your family. Go get educated. But fraud, um, stealing, um, I mean, the list goes
Street
on.
mentality. The
All
street
this,
mentality.
I ain't gonna. Right.
Street
That's not.
mentality is,
That's not gonna
is
work.
not.
It's not gonna work.
No, that's not gonna work. It's not. You're in a
You're gonna
different
be
area.
ramen noodles. You're gonna be flipping Debbie cakes, 2 for 1. And when you could be eating steak every morning for breakfast, going for walks, walking your dog, you
Yep.
don't have to don't believe that hype, y'all. Do not believe that hype. And what do you think about that as far as black men, as far as the whole Trump did it narrative, and as far as what we need to be doing instead of worrying about what other races need to be doing?
Yeah. And I'm gonna be very quick with this. Pioneer your own way. Pioneer your own way. Quit going the same path that everybody else goes, and thinking that because I went this path, I'm going to get the same results. No, you're going to get this. You're going to get better results for the path that you create and that you curate for yourself. Pioneer, be a maverick, but do it legally.
Hmm.
Do what's best for you. That's what, not what's best for President Trump, Jay Z, Nas, or anybody. Do what's best for you, what you're comfortable with, and
Hmm.
also that comfortability is main because people in society now will try to get you to conform to them, but everyone is uncomfortable with being themselves. Be the consecrated you.
I totally
If
agree with
you,
you, man.
man, I'm telling you, young black men gotta quit being scared to be unique.
Yeah, and we need to be more worried about doing the right thing and elevating ourselves. Learning how to build our communities and sustain our communities. Learning trade work, learning
Yeah,
math, so we can learn carpentry, so we can build
yeah,
houses, so we can fix roofs, so we can do plumbing and concrete things that create wealth. And people look down on these trades and say that only that's jobs that the Hispanics may do. And I mean, that's a problem because that's why when you drive through certain black neighborhoods, it looks dilapidated.
yeah.
Nobody's
Because no
fixing it.
one's
Everybody's too good. There's all these
yeah,
men walking around, they dapping, but they don't got no hammer in their hand fixing their grandmama house. You could be landscaping her yard. You could be learning landscaping. I mean, there's just so many things that we need to be worried about instead of illegal dealings
yeah,
and worrying about what other people can get away with.
yeah. That's definitely true, man. That's definitely true.
So I just think that we look down upon trades,
Yeah,
but they're the basis of of education.
yeah.
Once you
And
get that,
society and civilization.
yeah, I mean that's food of side beings. Do you want to succeed
And
or
be
not?
honest.
You know, and other than that, we're going to be calling other people to do our jobs. You
Yeah,
know, we're going to be calling and we're going to be paying them. We could be paying our own self. We could be teaching the youth how to do this stuff,
yeah,
sending them to college to be lawyers and stuff. Lawyers, a lawyer or doctor that knows how to fix stuff. I mean,
yeah.
a guy with a bachelor's degree, a black man with a bachelor's degree that also knows how to take care of his home, and we know how to do that because we was raised on a
Yeah.
farm.
Inform,
Maintain
yeah,
a whole lot of stuff, on our own. Plus, we're educated with military experience, so it
yeah,
definitely saves money. It builds
money.
wealth. We're both sitting in houses right now. You're sitting in your house. I'm sitting in mine.
Yeah,
Real comfortable, but
yeah,
we educated ourselves to get to that point. And I wish that more black men would focus on being great like that.
yeah. Skillful, skillful, definitely, definitely. Um,
We may have had an advantage by having a farm, but we were definitely a poor farm. So it's not like we had a dirt poor farm. But it's not like we had
say that,
advantage. And that's something that we'll hit
say
on
that
in another
again.
episode later, right?
Yeah.
It
This
definitely.
might be off topic before we go, but one last thing that I'm gonna say to the young black and black men is be mindful what you put on social media. You don't have to show everywhere that you go. You don't have to show everything that you buy. You know,
Especially if it's not honest.
just yes, uh, because who I mean, who are you trying to get accolades from? This world is evil. This world it murdered an innocent man. Is these the same people that you trying to get confirmation from? You know, be content with what you have. Be blessed and thankful for what you have and grateful. And don't put everything on social media. Be mindful of the words that come out your mouth too. Every conversation doesn't need to be indulged in
And that's
because
something that comes with education.
yes, yes,
A high
Yes.
school diploma cannot teach you that. People say don't
Yeah.
go to debt and go to school, but you don't have to get in debt to go to school. That
No, you don't.
you don't have to go in debt to go to school. Um, Especially if you start out at a little small 2-year college or a tech school, you can end up with an
Yeah.
associate's degree, and that until you educate yourself on certain ways, you're going to be stuck in that
Time.
that lower socioeconomic mindset. That's going, and you're not, and you get, and so it's like me and you could be sitting here talking to somebody, and we could be on the block telling them the same thing. And they're like, man, I don't want to hear that. I'm trying because look at the environment that he's in. He's not taking no classes, nothing like that. So I think you have to separate yourself sometimes and not
Yeah.
be afraid to be different, like you said, and go do the right thing. Go learn.
You go
Go
do.
get a different
Learn.
mindset. Get a good
Yep.
job that'll help you travel the world and see some new things, so you'll learn a different perspective. Or either than that,
Hmm.
you may continue to fall victim, just like a lot of people and Mayor Johnson has.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Gotta level up.
gotta
Gotta
level
level
up.
up. Well,
So
I'm grateful that you had me on your show today. I'm very, very grateful. I've never been on the podcast before. Can you believe that? No, but
this
I'm
is
very grateful to be here, and I really enjoyed the time here.
this is my first show too. I mean, with someone else. I did a couple episodes by myself, but I look forward to doing a whole lot more. We really needed to touch on this subject. We as brothers, we don't always get to talk a lot because we're busy, but I think this was a
Yeah.
great dialogue from a town and a person that we know a lot about. We could have went on
Hmm.
forever. I think we're at around 35, 40 minutes right now. So we really
Hmm.
appreciate whoever watched us also,
Yeah.
whoever comes through and
I
watch this
really.
video. You can comment, like, tell us what you think. Watch certain parts, pick out what you want, watch the whole thing, and just give us your honest feedback because this is something that we wanted to talk to the community or the YouTube
You guys
community
about.
about. It's a big issue, and somebody needs to speak on it. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you stopping
Yeah. I
through.
appreciate you too.
And we're gonna do this
Yeah.
again. As y'all can see that it says Bro Talk episode 1. So this is probably gonna be the first one of
Yeah.
many. And you guys stay tuned and we really appreciate you guys tuning in. So
Yes.
until next time, peace.
Peace.